All right, people, I would expect very soon, most likely, news on Oleksandr Usyk most likely vacating his WBO title. I tell you why. Because I see this article here from Sky Sports, right? Sky Sports Boxing, and it's not giving me much hope that we're going to get this Joseph Parker Oleksandr Usyk fight. In spite of the fact I'd quite like to see it, I really would. If before we get into this, if you haven't already, just have a look there on screen. If you could, because we're nearly at 26k, do please consider hitting the like, hitting subscribe. In particular, hitting subscribe and the notification bell. Literally, that little clip I show is how long it takes. It takes what, a couple of seconds? You can hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. It's easy. It's easy. Anyone can do it. Obviously, we're going to talk about Oleksandr Usyk, Joseph Parker, and what may be happening with this fight. So, long and the short of it, about a week or so ago, 10 days ago, the WBO announced that they would be calling their mandatory, which is of course Joseph Parker. Parties would have 30 days to negotiate, otherwise a purse bid would be called standard practice. Didn't come as a shock, didn't come as a surprise. The WBO mandatory has been deferred several times over the last couple of years, along with other mandatories, quite frankly. It's one of the problems with unifications and looking for undisputed, and in particular nowadays, the dreaded R word, with all the rematches that happen, it holds up the division and it holds up the mandatory. Now, the mandatory system, whether you love it or hate it, and me personally, I like it because you deserve your shot. You deserve to have, and again, the champion still has, he's the A side. He still gets the lion's share of the purse. But the fact of the matter is, the mandatory has earned that right. He's earned the right to challenge the champion. If the champion doesn't go ahead with the fight, there's implications for him. There's no rematch clause normally, although saying that seems to be changing as we go. But you get what I mean. I think the mandatory system needs to remain, and it needs to be done. It needs to be done right. The WBO and the IBF, they're not perfect, but they do their mandatories a lot better than the other two, who just don't seem to care. Anyway, the IBF haven't had a mandatory since Kubrat Pulev. The WBA was the last mandatory, I believe. No, sorry, the Kubrat Pulev was the last of the WBA. The WBC's last mandatory was Dylan White 3 years ago. 2 years ago was the last mandatory with the WBA, which was Daniel Dubois. There hasn't been another mandatory called since then, so the WBO were obviously next in line. We were fully aware that this was coming. Team Usyk knew, everyone knew about this, so no one should be remotely surprised that they ordered a purse bid. It was announced after that Turki Al-Sheikh and Riyad Season-Sella were not interested in the fight, which was a bit of a worry. Because obviously Oleksandr Usyk works with Riyad Season, he works with them all, he works with Turki Al-Sheikh. He was obviously there fight night when he fought Dubois, even though it was a Queensbury show. I think he got a Riyad Season type purse for it, you know what I mean? So they obviously look, and obviously Turkey has talked about wanting to profit from these shows, and he obviously must look at a fight like Usyk Parker, which is not a terrible fight. It's a great fight. It's a really, really intriguing fight. But he obviously looks at that, probably the same with Kabayel, to be fair. Probably looks at both them fights and thinks, all right, they'll make a bit of money, but especially now if we're not doing pay-per-view, how are we going to make a recoup on that? Different if it was, and I'm not saying this as though it's a good thing and that we should be doing this. I'm not saying it. But different if it was, say, Tyson Fury, right? You probably look at that and think, oh yeah, we'll probably a trilogy fight. Yeah, we can make our money back on that. Let's do that instead. Let's put our money on that instead of this Parker fight, which is probably going to lose us money. And now we want to make this money back. We're not in the business of taking L's on shows anymore. So that's where it looks like that's basically the Saudis not wanting to get involved, apparently anyway. This article here, it says Oleksandr Usyk has not engaged in negotiations with Joseph Parker over WBO mandatory title fight. Oleksandr Usyk has been ordered to defend his WBO World Heavyweight title against mandatory challenger Joseph Parker. The Ukrainian star also holds the WBA, IBF, and WBC. They have WBA down twice. That's why I was kind of confused a little bit. I was like, what? Should be WBC. Is yet to hold any talks. Usyk has also been linked with fights against Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Yes, we know. Both of them, yes. I'd be upset if it was either of them, to be honest with you. Neither of them deserve it. Joseph Parker's team have revealed that Oleksandr Usyk has not held any negotiations over the mandatory title fight. The Ukrainian, who is the undisputed world heavyweight champion after last month's knockout of Daniel Dubois, was ordered to agree a deal with Joseph Parker within 30 days, from the July 24th, or the WBO will proceed with a purse bid with Parker's New Zealand-based promoter David Higgins has confirmed that the talks are yet to take place with Usyk, who could be stripped of his belt if he does not fulfill his mandatory defence. Last time I spoke with Frank Warren, who promotes Parker in the UK, there has been no engagement. That is what I was told a couple of days ago, Higgins told Sky Sports. It's boxing, anything can happen. You don't rule out anything in or out. You don't rule anything out or in, really, but I think Usyk would have engaged by now in a discussion or negotiation if he wanted to retain and defend his undisputed heavyweight world titles. Parker, former WBO champion, secured a world title shot after wins over Deontay Wilder, Zhilei and Martin Bakole, although the Ukrainian's been linked with a trilogy fight with Tyson Fury. Higgins voiced his frustration at the current situation of the heavyweight division, immense fresh speculation that Anthony Joshua could face Jake Paul. Hopefully not. He said, I'm hopeful that, this is what Higgins said, I'm hopeful that the merit-based system is respected and the man who genuinely earned a shot at the world heavyweight title is allowed to have his title shot because it's been earned the hard way, the old school way, with consecutive victories over monumental opponents over the last 12 to 13 years of dedication, professional career, beating everyone put in front of him, except the 3 people who've beaten. It's a disgrace that I chucked that in there. That wasn't in there, but I just said I chuck it in there because you know what I'm like. It's a disgrace to the sport that you cannot earn a world heavyweight title shot on merit. All the Mickey Mouse rubbish talk of Anthony Joshua fighting Jake Paul. If Usyk doesn't take the fight, Joshua should step back up against him and fight Parker for the vacant title. Well, he wouldn't be fighting for a vacant title. He's interim champion, so he'd be elevated. Due to his current status as WBO title holder, Parker could be installed as the new champion if Usyk decided to vacate. But Higgins has appealed for Usyk to grant Parker an undisputed heavyweight title fight. Joseph would rather fight Usyk and lose than be given the belt, he said. But you got to take what comes in this sport. I guess we should appeal to Oleksandr Usyk because he is a merit-worthy fighter who has also built his way up the hard way, winning Olympic gold, working his way up from cruiserweight, whitewashing everyone a heavyweight. You would think Usyk himself would recognise Parker has earned a title shot. Whoa, that was a lengthy one. They're normally not that lengthy on Sky Sports. I should have probably, and I didn't read through it before I started recording. I should have really dissected it a bit more. I think I read the whole article there. I concur with a lot of what David Higgins has said, Joseph Parker and Ajay Kabayel. To be fair, he's number 1 with WBC. He's interim WBC champion as well. So they both have earned their shot. They really, truly have. And like I said, Turkey and the Saudis may be looking at that fight and thinking, there's no money in it. It might make some money, but not what we're paying them. We're not going to recoup it. I'm sure that's what they're thinking. And obviously they're looking. Higgins mentioned Anthony Joshua potentially as an opponent for Usyk along with Tyson Fury. And I've said it, I don't want, and I will criticise Oleksandr Usyk. I've never had to, I don't think, ever criticise Usyk on this channel. But I will criticise him if he decides to. Vacating a title is one thing. Alright, it's holding up the division, all these mandatories, this, that and the other. Okay, you vacate the belt, the division can start moving it forward, and we can start, looking to go through the whole rigmarole of Undisputed again. It's a joy, we like seeing it, there's nothing wrong with that. But to vacate it, not go through with a fight with Joseph Parker, then to not fight Ajay Kabayel and to just pluck Tyson Fury out of obscurity, well, not out of obscurity, but you know what I mean, to pluck him out for a trilogy fight that he hasn't remotely earned, to me it's just a cash grab. That's all it is at this stage. And some people would say, well, does Usyk not deserve a cash grab at this stage in his career? How much money has the guy made? The guy's a multi-millionaire, as is Tyson Fury. How much more money do they need? Now, I think Oleksandr Usyk, realistically, what I think you should do is just bow out. You've done it, man. You've clocked the game. You've done it. You're finished. You completed it. You know what I'm saying? Completed it, mate. That's Oleksandr Usyk. You know that sport boxing? Yeah, completed it, mate. That's literally Oleksandr Usyk. There's no point sticking around. No point. And there's no point going through with a Fury trilogy. I think he beat Fury again. It's not that people say, oh, you're just afraid you lose. No. He beat Fury soundly both times. Fury's been beaten soundly. He shouldn't just, I'm next. I'm jumping the queue. I'm not retired anymore. Sullivan, put me in there. Yep, there you go. Nah, man. If Fury wants a shot at the heavyweight title, whether it's Oleksandr Usyk, just earn it. Earn your shot. And someone, who was it who said, that it's actually kind of a bad look if Fury was able to just leapfrog everybody, including Parker, because Parker just make you think Fury, if he is retired, he'd be saying, fight Joseph Parker, Oleksandr Usyk, are you afraid of my friend? He's not doing that. So, yeah, I suspect we've got a vacation. A vacation. I don't say vacations like a holiday. No, but I would imagine that we are going to have word sooner rather than later of Usyk relinquishing one at least of his titles, maybe more. It's just a question of what he does next. Again, me, 100%, retire, you're done, you clock the game, no point sticking around. Just leave it. Just it's done. You know, just don't over egg the pudding anymore. There's no point. You're not going to make it taste any better. Just leave it as it is. So that's what I think for Oleksandr Usyk. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Likelihood is we're not going to get this fight. Are you happy, sad? Are you happy that Parker will become heavyweight champion again? Most likely, by default, it'd be an email champion. But still, you know, I mean, two-time heavyweight champion in the world, nothing to turn your nose up at. I never thought he would have won a world title again, quite frankly, after the Joe Joyce fight a couple of years ago. So it's a testament to what Joseph Parker has done and rebuilt himself over the last few years. And it's a testament to what activity can do for you. Very active, well, not lately, but when things started clicking, that was when he was active. So it's a testament to what that can do as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the video. People, smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. Until next time, peace.